Welcome back to the Ride Along channel here in a beautiful outdoors where conditions are amazing. It's first thing in the morning, lovely groomed corduroy snow just behind me that I'm going to ski down. And this is part 2 of how to get your ski legs back. So maybe you've not skied in a while. Maybe it's the first time this season, or even quite likely with what's been going on the last few years, first time for a few years. Doesn't matter if you're an average, intermediate, okay skier, or if you're pretty good. What I'm going to run you through just now is the second part of how to tune back into what's going on. And actually, I use this a lot of time for my first run of the day, whether it was with me or with some students that I'm teaching out here in France. This is a nice little warm-up, tuning in, feeling the snow, kind of familiarization, if you like, of what's going on under our feet, that you can then dial up to the highest possible level. And this does work for like the highest level of skier as well. Now, I should say at the start, it doesn't matter if you haven't seen part 1, but it would help. Well, it's also, it doesn't actually matter if this is part 1 or part 2, whichever way you're watching, it does still make a bit of sense for you. So, here we go. Now, as I start to slide here, down this nice wide open green road, one of the things I'm starting to think about, well, in fact, a few of the little criteria, a few of the things I'm thinking about, is a consistent speed, fluidity, as in smoothness around turns, not aggressive punch. But if you refer back to part 1, I talk about progressiveness, not aggressiveness. Progressive, not aggressive. And in this one today, consistent speed of line to make smooth, round turns. Now, I'm deliberately doing this one first thing in the morning when I've got these lovely corduroy lines on the snow below me. And what I'm doing is I'm using these lines as a corridor to ski in. So, as I come in just here, straight down the piece below me now is the center of my corridor. This line just here, that's the outside of one corridor, and the outside is the other line just there. And what I'm trying to do is as I cross that center line, the turn begins. It means I have a moment or two release before the turn then starts to work around the other side. There's a moment or two where nothing is happening, if you like, just for a split second. Gives me a moment to build the new turn, then work that turn around the outside, then release once again. And that's why you can say I'm doing this first thing in the morning, is because I love these lines to be able to tune into. Well, it doesn't actually matter how big the corridor is. It could be a lot wider than this. It could also be a lot narrower than this. So right now I've got my feet back, I'm tuning it a little bit more, and I'm speeding up these turns. You can see I'm still using that central line as my initiation point, if you like, the trigger point. Or if you're starting to use them well, that's the point when the pole is actually touching the ground as I cross that central mark. Notice the speed increased a little bit, but it is the same if I open it back up into those smoother, slightly larger turns. And when I head back up in a moment or two, you're going to see how this can be developed as your skiing improves, as you get better and better. That this can work for all kinds of levels as a little exercise. Just before I head back up though, do remember, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Don't forget to whack that little subscribe button down at the bottom. There's loads more videos on this channel that help you out with your skiing ability and learning a little bit more about my home out here in Outdoors. Where if you are coming, drop me a message. My contact details are in the description, and I'll see you for a little coaching session, skiing or snowboarding, on or off piste. There's loads of different things that we can do, whatever level skier you are. Let's head back up and see how we can develop this skill then. Okay, so you've got the idea of this exercise of skiing through the corridor and using that central line to release, pause, and then start to work the turn around the edge of your corridor. Now, there's different ways that we can start to develop this depending on your skill, and as your skill starts to improve and you get the hang of it. The first one we're going to do will remain with the tactical choice, without thinking about head, shoulders, knees and toes and what we do with our feet or our skis or our body. We're just going to look at a tactical change to start to dial things up, if you like. And the way I'm going to change that is the corridor width. I'm going to ski in a funnel. So the corridor will start very wide, and as I start getting lower and lower and lower, the corridor will get narrower and narrower, meaning my rhythm needs to increase. The central line will remain the same. That's the key bit. Is although the corridor from side to side is getting narrower, I still have that same central line with the release to start the new turn. Let's have a look. So I've got a wide open piece. My central line is about here below me now. So I'm going to start wide. There's the central line, turn comes around. There's my central line, turn comes around. Just like we were doing a moment ago. And this doesn't matter if you're traveling at a high or a low speed. It doesn't matter if these turns are carved or not. We're keeping that regular rhythm on that central line. There it is, just there. Now as I'm coming down lower, that rhythm is increasing. My corridor is getting narrower. The same central line, same rhythm in terms of release and come around the turn. But as I get all the way to the bottom now, you see that turn is getting smaller. So I mentioned at the start of this video that this central line or corridor skiing drill can be used at all abilities once you've got the idea of linking turns together, and then you start to get a rhythm. The difference is what you focus on. So of course I've shown you two different ways of doing it just now, the regular rhythm or changing that rhythm into a funnel. What we're going to look at now though is that moment where nothing happens. When you cross that centre line and you pause for a moment, it's not actually a pause when you start to improve and when you start to get better. That's the little focus just now. So what you should be able to see on screen right now is performance short turn skiing. It still has that same regular rhythm, crossing that central line and waiting to reach the end of the corridor before the ski bites and comes around. But of course, it's not nothing that's happening when you cross that centre line. You're aiming to build the new platform, build balance on the new ski, build some pressure under the new ski, and build the edge on the new ski, so that when you reach the end of the corridor, you're already starting to turn, starting to have some power under that ski, which will then bring you round and into the new turn and then the new release. Let's have a look at that skiing down slowly just now, rather than the full performance. Let's slow it right down and see how that looks. So this is my central line coming down here. As I cross that central line, the left ski starts to engage. The right ski starts. The left ski starts here, early extension of the new leg, early pressure, early weight, but not necessarily an early rotation. I'm not turning the ski earlier, I'm just standing on the ski earlier, trying to build some pressure underneath the ski. Now at lower levels you learn to stand on the downhill ski. Stand on the downhill ski, the instructor says. But as you get better and as that improves, that word downhill starts to get left behind and it should start to become stand on the outside ski. So as I cross the central line here, all the way around and all the way around, the outside ski is working. The left leg has the balance. The right leg has the balance and the weight and the edge. And that keyword I just said there, just trying to brush it in, was that just because you're standing on the new ski, building some pressure, starting to build some edge, doesn't mean it's rotated quickly. It's still progressive, not aggressive. There's no flick of the ski as I cross the central line. It's just building that pressure and letting that ski start to work. So you see just now I'm starting to dial it up. It's the same movement pattern throughout. Right ski works there, left ski works there, around the slow sign, right ski works, left ski works. Now there of course is loads more to it than what I'm introducing just now, and I strongly advise wherever you go, don't just take YouTube videos like this one, and I'm sure thousands of other that you can find. Get a lesson and start to tune into what the instructors are saying. We may be using slightly different terminology, but the goal is still the same. Pressure, weight, balance on the outside ski all the way around the turn, making that turn progressive, not aggressive. when the ski bites early and grips early in the snow, you'll then start to get a rebound from side to side without needing to throw the ski or flick the ski like windscreen wipers from side to side. That's definitely not the goal. Once again, thanks for joining me here on the Ride Along channel here in Out to Wes. If you're making your way out here this winter or next winter or whenever you're watching this video, give me a shout. All of my contact details are in the video description down below. And if you haven't already, whack that little subscribe button down at the bottom so you can see new videos coming out all the time. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.